That was my thoughts. But what did you think of that first little bit?
Yeah, so I think the 49ers got pretty fortunate. They were not playing very well, I think, offensively. And this is also something that I've noted too in the past because I have made several statements on not liking the 49ers offense. And this was before Jimmy goes down. So Brock Purdy, he didn't have a great first half. I think that the Seattle Seahawks secondary helped him out a lot. They certainly got Kittle involved on those two touchdowns. I mean, the secondary of Seattle was able to help a lot with Kittle being wide open and just yards after the carry, right? What he's his specialty. So the first half was very much so given to the 49ers, especially in the second quarter, because Quandre Diggs dropped an interception, and then so what happened after that was the 49ers, they had to punt. And then on the ensuing Seattle drive, Travis Homer fumbles the ball to Charvarius Ward. Charvarius Ward runs all the way down the field to the 1 yard line, and then McCaffrey punches it in right after that. So,
Yeah.
and I don't even blame Travis Homer for that because that possession shouldn't even have existed. It should have existed, thus the Quandre Diggs interception, which he dropped. The Seahawks couldn't figure it out. They did get the possession of the ball because San Francisco decided to punt on 4th and 2 after getting that penalty, accepting it. Still wasn't enough. They're not going to go for it. They're up 14-3 going into the third quarter. And then the Seahawks end the half on a 4th and 8, 3-and-out. So obviously 14-3, it looks like San Francisco played absolutely amazing in the first half, but a lot of that was given to them by Seattle. And so
That's back to the point of me even bringing up that point. It's like I wasn't even sure if that was like Niners are just like on this Tom Brady train. I know that he got screwed over with the FTX thing, but maybe that might
yeah.
be on his mind with the Sam Bankman. Never mind.
Mhm.
But that might be a thing. But at the same time, like Seattle just didn't play good on both sides of the ball. So it's hard to see with that in that case. So that's kind of back to the point of you're not really sure of what. With what's going on. But Seattle, I think, just overall just dropped the ball this time around. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we were talking a little bit about this before the season started, and maybe even at the end of last season. But our expectations for the Seahawks. What can we kind of think about now that we've had a year of Geno Smith and Drew Lock hasn't seen any action as far as I'm concerned because of how well Smith has been playing. Looking into next season, looking into what we can scrape out of the remaining games here in 2022 for the Seahawks. Geno Smith undecidedly is the starter at the beginning of the season. DK Metcalf signs a 3-year extension around $73 million. So we've got the emergence of Tyreek Woolen being one of the top rookie corners with 6 interceptions on the year. Kenneth Walker is a star when he's not playing the 49ers, obviously. But even Kenneth Walker, he had a really great run. I believe his longest was about 25 or so. So he was getting opportunities, he was getting chances, and obviously he's just extremely athletic. But man, we've kind of mentioned his name a little bit. Our another buddy of ours, Joshua Rice, who is a diehard 49ers fan, couldn't join us today. I did ask him for a few takeaways.
Too busy celebrating.
too busy celebrating. I'm surprised he didn't go down to that game. Himself. He was very excited for just the emergence of Brock Purdy coming out of the ashes of as a third string quarterback, and no one expected this, right? So we've got Brock Purdy emerging. Debo expected to come back during the playoffs, but of course, I'm not a huge fan of the offense, like I alluded to earlier. I think that what did we see in Carolina with Christian McCaffrey? He was getting injured. And here's the guy who is leading the team. Well, what kind of receivers do we have? George Kittle isn't going to be turning into prime Randy Moss every single night, so we can't really be expecting what we saw last night to carry on. I believe he had 4 catches for 93 yards, probably half a dozen targets, whatever. Christian McCaffrey leads the team in targets and rushes. So everything is kind of dependent on this guy, right? Like what are we going to do? An injury prone. This is what I told to our good friend Joshua Rice. I told him, your entire offense is pretty much relying on an injury prone guy who can lead the team in passing, rushing, and receiving every night if he wants to.
To your point. And by the way, on the record, Josh, if you're watching this, I'm enjoying this dismantling of San Francisco a lot, like a lot more than I should have. But to add fuel to that fire, and to make a legitimate, to bring up a legitimate point of concern to an extent. See, San Francisco is like one of those teams right now who's like making the playoffs, everything's gonna happen, all that. But like, are you really gonna do damage in the play? Are you once you make it? Like, okay, fine, you'll get out of maybe because they're not gonna get a better record than the Vikings. I don't think so, right? I don't know if they're gonna win the rest of their games or
the Eagles. I don't think they can catch the Eagles either.
Okay, maybe you get one game in the divisional. Like, I don't see like how far this is gonna go. Like, how far are you gonna go with? Okay, you started off most of your season with a lot of your guys that were healthy, that were there, and then they built you up to this point. You steal like one or two games, but like, where's that gonna take you, right? That's my thing. Like, how far is this Brock thing is gonna go before he gets caught or gets found out for who he is? And because maybe that might be a legitimate point, because nobody knows this guy. He's the last draft pick of the NFL draft. No one has any idea of like can truly process his game. But the second it comes to when it really matters, like, what's gonna happen?
You mean when they're playing a team that's probably a lot better than some of the teams that they've just been playing in the last few games? Yeah, like the Eagles or like the Vikings. Or the Cowboys, man. They might be playing any of these teams.
The Cowboys are the Knicks and the Leafs of the NFL. Let's not get this twisted here. We always get excited for them in the beginning of the year. They get us happy and all that. But that's the only thing I agree with Stephen A. Smith on, I guess, in his whole career. Is the Cowboys. Come on, man. Cowboys can go 16-0. Cowboys can get, I don't know, prime Tom Brady and you could put 2007 Patriots. Actually, that's a good analogy. You can put prime whoever on their team, 16-0, and they. I don't know. San Francisco's beating them in the NFC Championship. This one right here. So I don't know. What do you think of, like, I guess, NFC, like, their sort of playoff?
Well, yeah. Let's talk about the NFC. So it's kind of easy to think that, the Eagles might come out of it, the NFC, but like, of course, if we've been paying attention to the Eagles and their schedule, it's been pretty easy. They could have gone 17-0 if they didn't lose to the Commanders, because right now they're on that pace to be 16-1. So, obviously I don't think that the Eagles are a team to mess around with. Obviously they have almost every single area completely covered. So, we can kind of joke about the 49ers not coming out of the NFC, but What kind of expectations can we make about the 49ers if they're playing the Eagles in the NFC Championship game?
We keep going on the 49ers. I do want to say, in all seriousness, I think the 49ers, I think a big round of applause to the Niners and the Seahawks for exceeding expectations way beyond. I think right now, the way the standings are looking at right now with the Rams, Cardinals, I think the standings in the beginning of the season, we would have had flipped completely.
Yeah.
In terms of that. So in terms of – go ahead.
Green Bay, Tampa Bay, the Rams, like, who else let us down a lot this year in the NFC? Like, it's been very very convoluted, I would say, as we are reaching the end of the season.